Hey guys, how y'all doing? This is Lati here at Tears and We Tarot. Just wanted to uh, be obedient to the spirit. Was feeling the need to come and sit and deliver a channeled message to you all. I have been reading out of my book, Studying Nonviolent Communication by Marshall B. Rosenberg. So it's a pretty good read if you guys ever want to work on your communication if that's an issue for you. I always feel like communicating is a really big deal, and it's like super important, right? And we were talking earlier today about the importance of words and statements. So, of course, this being a part of my discipline and study, uh, yeah, for some reason, Spirit, I guess, decided that the message would be synchronistic and it would bring uh, a good closure to the day. I'm not for sure. I don't know what it is. But anyway, feelings versus non feelings. And that passage stuck with me because, I mean, we talked about, yeah, projection and using our words appropriately and I am statements and everything this morning, everything was good. And then, of course, when you get into that space, your day tends to bring you, opportunities to practice that. So I had a few today, quite honestly, quite a few opportunities to practice patience and keeping I am statements aligned, projection, all kinds of stuff. Like we just ran into all kinds of scenarios that we could testify about, right? And in one scenario, I was putting together a fan, like one of those tall tower oscillating fans that do the thing like this, but for some reason the bottom part of it, the little pedestal pieces, is like you got to snap them together. Looks simple enough, right? These little pins going this and that, and they attach and click, and I could not get this thing to snap together for, oh my goodness. And now I'm up in my space and in my room, and it's hot, and I'm sweating, and I'm trying to put this fan together, and this little pedestal just won't work. And I'm just like, what in the heck is. First of all, who created this? Right now, I done got mad all the way down at the manufacturer, the design person, the engineer, whoever designed this setup right here needed to go sit down and think about it. Like I really didn't understand. Like why was this a design? Like y'all who voted on this? Like y'all decided that this was good, right? Okay. But anywho, if you're trying to put this together and the pieces don't fit, and then the spirit says, you know what? You kinda get what you pay for. This little $40 fan, what are you expecting for them to have put together, right? And so I yelled out at the fan, like I got pissed off at the fan, like, I hate this, right? Like in spirit, I'm just repeating it for the sake of the testimony. Thank you, right? Yeah, it's, and I got so mad, and my daughter come running up the stairs, like, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Like this stupid fan, and I start having a whole meltdown, right? And then it was just like I huffed about it, and then I stopped for a second, and then the spirit, just I could feel it deliberately, intentionally looking, click this, set it, and it was like moving it very methodical, right, into position, and then it snapped. Now, I'll tell you, this little $40 fan definitely is not well designed, it's not put together, but for $40, what do you expect? For $40, what am I supposed to get? But anyway, um, needless to say, I got it put together. It's working. Is it fabulously? No. I mean, because it's just design flaw, and probably like I was like, it's together, it's working. I'm good. Like I'm done. And it was hot, and I was sweating. I was over it. At that point, success. Yes, this is my my measure of success. It stands up. It's oscillating. It's working. It's not wobbly. I'm golden. Right. So, um, But it got me thinking, like, at the end of the day, here it is, we're winding down. It's the evening, like, kind of reflecting back on self, right? And how the things we talked about end up coming full circle, in these little bitty scenarios that happen throughout my day. And it's more that I could share, but I think you guys get the gist, right? And so I was just like, okay, wow, spirit, what is the message in all of this? Like, right? And so Spirit led me to my nonviolent communication book, like I said, by Mr. Rosenberg, Dr. Rosenberg, respectfully. Feelings versus non feelings. And I am really getting called on this non feeling part, right? And it's talking about like how to distinguish feelings from thoughts and distinguish between what we feel and what we think we are. And I thought that that was beautiful for the spirits to bring that message back around in this text, because we kind of were talking about that earlier today. The spirit was talking about how we must be mindful of the language that we use in terms of self, right? Really digging into those I am statements, and what do they mean. And oftentimes we confuse feelings and mix that into our language, and misappropriately use that. And since our words mean are so powerful, you are so powerful, right? So powerful. You don't even realize. And the words that you say to yourself and thought and verbally um, do impact you, and they manifest in your life, especially when those words are repetitive and you consistently, like, you have a habit of doing this and repeating or using language in a certain way. That's what I feel Spirit is saying. Like, we have a habit of misusing our words, because, yeah, I have a little lip gloss in my pocket up here. You know how we got two pockets. It might not be real big, deep pockets, but I got pockets over here, so whatever. Yeah. Making sure that we are using our words appropriately, like we're managing them. A person that I used to be very close to received advice from another person, and I'll share it. They said that words are like currency, right? So spend them wisely. If you think that every word that you say costs you $1, then you would spend your words wisely, right? So I thought that that was a really solid piece of knowledge and advice, and I'm very grateful and thankful uh, for that. Like, that's something that has stuck with me. So say less. I would be broke as hell because I talk way too much, right? Sometimes I get very descriptive, and I would spend a lot of words on describing when I could learn to say less. Anywho, so Spirit was leading me to this pretty much paragraph where it says a common confusion generated by the English language is our use of the word feel without actually expressing a feeling. For example, in the sentence, I feel I didn't get a fair deal. The words I feel could be more accurately replaced with I think. So a lot of times when we say I feel something, we really mean I think something. Like, I think I didn't get a fair deal, instead of I feel like I didn't get a fair deal. Or I feel like I feel like you don't never understand what I'm saying. Instead of I think you don't understand me. Or I think or better yet, I feel misunderstood. Right. That probably, or uh I think you're misunderstanding, I think would probably be a better way of saying something like that. So they give us examples. So words such as that, like, as if. I feel that you should know better. I feel like a failure. I feel as if I'm living with a wall. It's telling us to distinguish feelings from thoughts. I think you should know better, instead of I feel that you should know better, is what they're saying. I think I am a failure, instead of I feel like a failure. I think I'm living with a wall instead of I feel as if I'm living with a wall. It's again feelings versus non-feelings, feelings versus thoughts, right? Thank you, Holy Spirit. The next thing it's calling me to is like pointing to this passage where it says, conversely, in the English language, it is not necessary to use the word feel all the time. So sometimes when we want to express how we feel, we don't even need to say the word feel, right? I feel like this, or I feel like that, whatever, or I feel like, no, you probably don't even need to say all of that. Again, say less, right? If I'm feeling irritated, instead of saying I'm feeling irritated, you could say I'm irritated. I am statement. And when I got to that part and read that, Spirit called me to that, I was like, wow, it brought me right back to this morning's porch session where we had coffee and talked about, the um, projection and feelings and um, understanding that being mindful that nobody else is responsible for your feelings. And are you even aware of what you're feeling, right? Are you even consciously able to communicate with yourself or with anyone else what you're feeling? Or are you misconstruing feelings versus non feelings, right? So instead of saying, I feel like I'm living with a wall, say, I think that you're closed off, or I think you don't hear me, right? So that is a way that you could express that and change your language where you're no longer projecting what you think and what you feel onto another person. You can switch that around into an I am statement, right? I'm feeling like I hear in my head working on my language while I'm practicing, right? So I hear the words, um, I am misunderstood, right? So instead of saying I feel misunderstood, say I am misunderstood. If you don't feel like that person is giving you understanding, or you don't even, or how better could we say that? Spirit, give us the words. How better could we say that? How could we say that is more in line with a positive affirmation and that I am high vibrational to call ourselves to the next level or to move ourselves forward into healing? How could we say that? You can say, I seek to understand. I My intention is to gain your understanding. My intention is to gain your trust. I think you don't trust me. If feel like you're living with someone who's a wall, maybe that person doesn't trust you, and maybe that's what you think. I think you don't trust me, therefore you put up a wall. I am living with a wall. This person is closed off. I think you've closed yourself to me. I I you know, that type of language where you can be straightforward, and or you can even change it to an intention statement, right? I am seeking to. My intention is, and make it plain. That way, we reduce what the opportunity for misunderstandings to take place. And then you remove any of the emotional sentiment from the conversation. It's taken out and stripped out, and then it allows the back and forth with what I flow, the communing to take place, right? The engagement. Thank you, Spirit. That's what I feel. And it allows the engagement to take place. So, yeah, I just wanted to bring you guys a little quick channeled message from the Spirit. Spirit definitely called me into remembrance and mindfulness about my language, even in the face of nuanceical, irritating circumstances, calling me to still be mindful, especially in those situations, right? Because, you know, what you say is important. And then knowing and remembering also that I have the power to renounce those words that I spoke out and bind them, right? So that they don't generate further irritation in my life, continue to create additional scenarios that bring forth irritation or misunderstanding, discomfort, dis-ease, all of those things that, you know, come in and disrupt your peace, right? That keeps you from communing, engaging with yourself and other selves in a very high vibrational way. So I pray that somebody gets something from this message, right? Um, just another way that we seek to serve, you know, you all, and ourselves and you all, right? So that we can look at the tears in our field, in our wheat field, and see what is projecting back to us, so that we know what to work on, what to dig up, what to, well, not to dig up because we can't pull it up by the roots, but we need to examine it. We need to recognize it and be aware, so that we can use our energy and channel and focus that energy appropriately, so that we can become good bread. Thank you guys again. Like, subscribe, share the video, and I'll see you next time. Ashe.